What is up, legends? Today is the day we're going to be predicting Premier League Game Week 35. Quick note, before we jump into it, I just want to clear up a little bit of a confusion about our review table. Let's just take a look at it. So in our weekly review table, we show both the correct tips and the correct winners. And yes, there is a difference. Sometimes we miss the tip, but still predict the winner in the scoreline, and especially when it's a tough goal with high odds, I think that should count for something, and I believe a lot of you value that too. But from now on, I will not mark them as green but a different color to clearly see we missed the tip but hit the correct winner. So that said, I'm always open to feedback. If you think it should be done differently, let me know in the comments, because this channel is built on honesty and community, and the last thing I want is to confuse you with our review and raise questions. So let's keep it real and keep improving together. And also, if you're curious about my ACA, I'll give it to you at the end of this video. And for my Europe's top 5 leagues, check the pinned comment below, which I drop on regular basis. Thanks for all the support, and now let's dive in. So as you can see, the first match, Bournemouth were hosting Man United. Our tip was both teams to score combined with under 4.5 goals, with the odds of 2.15. That was a good juicy odd right there, so we hit that tip. The following match, Wolves were hosting Leicester. Our tip was Wolves to win combined with Wolves to score over 1.5 goals, meaning 2 or more goals by Wolves, with the odds of 1.90. We hit that tip. The actual result was 3-0 for Wolves. The following match, Newcastle were hosting Ipswich. Our tip was Newcastle to score over 2.5 goals, meaning 3 or more goals by Newcastle, with the odds of 1.80. The actual result was 3-0 for Newcastle, so we hit our tip. The following match, Manchester City were hosting Aston Villa. Our tip was both teams to score combined with over 2.5 goals, with the odds of 1.70. So we hit our tip. Plus, we hit the correct winner. Manchester City to win was 1.90. So we hit the tip and the correct winner in that one. And the following match, Southampton were hosting Fulham. Our tip was both teams to score with the odds of 1.75. And the actual result was 1-2 for Fulham. So we hit our tip. Plus, we predicted the correct score for that game, 2-1 for Fulham. Nottingham, Brentford are playing right now at the time of this recording, and the game was 0-0. So I don't know how that's gonna end, so that's why I didn't put a check mark there, so we don't know the scoreline if we're gonna hit that tip. But let's wait and see. And as you can see, now I'm gonna be placing all 10 Premier League games on top, hit or miss, so that way it's gonna be clear, and I don't want anybody to say I'm making it look like better than it is. So I'm gonna put all 10 on top now, so whatever we hit or miss, it's gonna be on top. Like in this case, we have so far 5. Nottingham is still playing, and we missed 4. You can see in those reds. So, and then on the bottom, I'm putting Europe's top 5 picks. Yeah, so the Premier League games that we missed, Liverpool, Tottenham. Our tip was Liverpool to win combined with under 5.5 goals. Liverpool scored unfortunately the 5th goal, so we missed that one. Following one, Arsenal, Crystal Palace. We predicted Arsenal to win plus Arsenal to score over 1.5 goals, but what a horrible mistake Arsenal made towards the end of the game and let Crystal Palace to equalize. So that was so close, but we missed it. Chelsea, Everton, we had both teams to score, but I was almost falling asleep watching the game. So 1-0 for Chelsea, we missed that. Everton couldn't score. The following match, Brighton, West Ham. Our tip was Brighton double chance combined was under 3.5 goals, but it turned out to be such a goal fest, and we missed that. From Europe's top 5 leagues, we hit Nantes to lose. Our tip was Nantes double chance combined was under 4.5 goals with the odds of 1.75. We hit that tip. Lyon were hosting Rennes, and our tip was Lyon double chance combined with both teams to score with the odds of 1.95. We hit that. The actual result 4-1 for Lyon. And one of the games of the week was Barcelona against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. Our tip was Barcelona double chance combined with both teams to score with the juicy odds of 2.0, and the actual result was 2-2 within the 90th minute. And yeah, we hit that tip as well. And for those who's confused, these Europe's top 5 picks I usually leave in the comments, so and pin it. So if you're gonna need it, you can always find it there. But I usually do it after a few hours of publishing the video, so it's not gonna be there right away. Just keep that in mind. So now without a further ado, let's dive into our week 35 predictions. Let's go. First match of the week, Manchester City will be hosting Wolves. What a matchup this is. Manchester City treating the Premier League like it's their side quest with 4 wins and 1 draw in their last 5. And Wolves from the other side have been quietly stacking W's like it's FIFA career mode beginner level, winning 6 out of their last 6 Premier League games. Then there was that FA Cup semi-final, City versus Nottingham Forest, and that goal from Rico Lewis, cold-blooded. I mean, Rico's scoring is like your Wi-Fi working perfectly in a storm, unexpected but deeply satisfied. Wolves, they humbled Leicester 3-0 in their last outing and reminding everyone how scary they used to be. Flashback to October, City edged that game 2-1, but the last time Wolves visited City, that game was a crime scene, 5-1 for City. But here's the twist, these two teams are fighting for 2 different things. While Wolves are like, hey, we didn't get relegated, let's celebrate and vibe. And City fighting tooth and nail to stay in the Champions League spots. And here's the big question, is City actually playing better without Erling Haaland? Or am I just hallucinating? I'm not saying Haaland is the problem, but ever since he was injured, City is playing like Pep gave them a Red Bull and extra XG. So I'm really curious what's going on there. My score prediction for this match is 2-1 for Manchester City, and my tip is both teams to score, odds 1.80. On to the next one, Aston Villa will be hosting Fulham. Villa absolutely smashed Newcastle, but then showed up to Etihad and lost in the dying seconds 2-1. That late goal didn't just sting, it put their Champions League dream on life support. But hey, never say never, we still have a few games to go. Meanwhile, Fulham visited Southampton and played the first half like they just woke up from a nap. But clearly someone gave them a halftime good speech because they came out swinging and scored 2 goals in the last 20. Now here's the juicy stat. The last 5 times these two teams faced off, Villa said not today and won all 5. So Fulham been chasing that W like it's Black Friday. The best way to describe this match? Fulham is trying to sneak in into the European competition club, whereas Aston Villa is the bouncer with the list. Will Fulham get let in, or are they gonna head back to the parking lot? Let's wait and see. So my score prediction for this match is 3-1 for Aston Villa, and my tip is Villa to score over 1.5 goals, odds 1.75. Or if you want something slightly better, then Villa double chance combined with Villa to score over 1.5 goals, odds 1.85. On to the next one, Everton will be hosting Ipswich, 15s against the 18. Ipswich are already relegated, so I'm not sure how much motivation they're gonna have in this game. They've lost their last 2 games to Arsenal and Newcastle and conceded 7 goals with 0 scored. Everton from the other side lost to Manchester City at home 2-0 and visited Stamford Bridge and lost 1-0. In reverse fixture, Everton were able to defeat Ipswich 2-0, but the last time Ipswich visited the Goodison Park, that game ended 2-1 for the guests, Ipswich. But Everton would want to try not to end up being 17th when the season is over and try to win this game. So my score prediction for this match is 1-0 for Everton, and my tip is Everton to win combined with under 4.5 goals, odds 1.75. On to the next one, Leicester will be hosting Southampton, 19s against the 20th. Same thing in this one, these teams have nothing to play for. If not for Vardy's last games for the Foxes, what a legend, at least get a win for him in this one. So I don't think there's too much to talk in this one. My score prediction for this match is 2-1 for Leicester, and my tip is Leicester double chance combined with under 3.5 goals, odds 2.05. On to the next one, Arsenal will be hosting Bournemouth. Arsenal versus Palace? That game was so flat that you could iron your shirt on it. I get it, maybe Arsenal weren't fully bothered, but when you lead twice, at least close the game like professionals. One defensive error, one keeper wondering like he was looking the nearest Pret, and boom, 2-2 draw. Not exactly the vibe you want before heading into the Champions League showdown against PSG. Speaking of which, Arsenal got cooked, grilled, steamed, however you want it. PSG dominated them like it was their preseason. And Arsenal's free kick setup? More offsides than VAR training camp. And then came Dembele, the same guy who had a hospital membership card at Barca, turned into a world beater. That goal? Ridiculous. and Luis Enrique deserves all the respect in the world for reviving Dembele's career like it's a FIFA career mode. Meanwhile, Bournemouth at home, they held down against Manchester United 1-1, and this season, Arsenal actually lost already to Bournemouth 2-0. Now, something important to note is PSG's second leg is coming up and Arteta may be in that save the squad mode. He said if we want to be in the final of the Champions League, then we have to do something special in Paris. Translations? Expect some rotations. And even some surprise starters. So my score prediction for this match is 1-1 draw. And my tip is both teams to score combined was under 5.5 goals, odds 1.90. On to the next one, Brentford against Manchester United, 11th against the 14th. It seems like Manchester United fully shifted their concentration on Europa League. That could be their golden ticket to the Champions League next season, and that may actually explain their poor form in the Premier League with 3 losses and 2 draws in their last 5. Meanwhile, Brentford are having a good run, held down Chelsea and Arsenal to draws, and even put Brighton to the sword 4-2 win at home. In contrast, United lost at home 0-1 against Wolves and drew 1-1 against Bournemouth. But credit where it's due, United's comeback against Lyon was something for the history books for sure, and we'll be remembering this for a while now. United did manage a win in reverse fixture 2-1, but their concentration fully shifted to Europa League. I can expect Brentford surprising in this one. My score prediction for this match is 2-0 for Brentford, and my tip is Brentford to win combined was under 5.5 goals, odds 1.75. On to the next one, Brighton against Newcastle. Brighton are still fighting for those European competition spots despite losing back-to-back. It's an uphill battle now, but not out of reach. Newcastle, from the other hand, clinging onto their Champions League position spot. They cruised past Ipswich 3-0. Of course, Isak got on the score sheet again. He's been on fire lately, and let's be honest, for the Magpies to keep him in the team, they have to qualify. They must qualify for the Champions League, otherwise some European giants may come with an offer knocking door. Newcastle, since lifting the EFL Cup after beating Liverpool, have picked up 6 wins, only fell short against Aston Villa, but this fixture has some added spice. Brighton have knocked Newcastle out of the FA Cup back in March. Magpies are definitely thinking about that revenge. My score prediction for this match is 1-3 for Newcastle, and my tip is Newcastle double chance combined with over 1.5 goals, odds 1.75. On to the next one, West Ham against Tottenham, 17th against the 16th. Just like in Manchester United case, there isn't too much to talk on this one. Tottenham are fully concentrated on that Europa League game. In reverse fixture, Spurs were able to defeat West Ham 4-1. And this is kind of a game that you want to say both teams to lose. So I don't think there's too much to talk on this one. My score prediction for this match is 1-1 draw. And my tip is West Ham double chance combined with under 4.5 goals, odds 1.75. On to the next one, Chelsea against Liverpool. First of all, congratulations to all the Reds fans. The Reds actually clinched the Premier League title, and I'm not sure how much energy and motivation they will bring into this match, considering the job is already done. Chelsea, on the other hand, still have everything to fight for. In the league, they are fighting for the Champions League positions, whereas also being active in the Conference League, so it's safe to say their season is far from over. The reverse fixtures saw Liverpool at Chelsea 2-1, but this time around it may be a different story. Cole Palmer and Nicolas Jackson's well stepped up for the Blues with 14 and 10 goals respectively. And of course there is Mo Salah with 28 goals. He's not only leading the Liverpool's goal scorers list, and not only Premier League's goal scorers list, but the entire Europe's top 5 list. And considering Lewandowski is currently injured with 25 goals, second right behind Salah, I don't think he's going to catch up with Salah. So I would say that Salah also could get the golden boot this year. So my score prediction for this game is 2-1 for Chelsea. And my tip is both teams to score combined with over 2.5 goals, odds 1.80. I literally just now saw that Nottingham lost at home against Brentford 2-0. I had so much hopes that they're going to get back into the Champions League positions, but now they're remaining in the 6th position. I mean, there's only 4 matches remaining. Like, I understand the players are exhausted and everything, but it's the most important time of the season right now. And the remaining 4 or 5 games, they just had to somehow win and not drop points. And I was thinking Forest coach Nuno Santo didn't mind at all to get knocked out of the FA Cup to concentrate better on the Premier League to get into the Champions League position again. But seems like it didn't work. They lost at home. The reason I really want to see them back in the Champions League is that the last time they participated in the Champions League, they were actually defending champions, which is unbelievable. And this time around, if they're going to make it back, it will be so interesting to see them in the Champions League. But it looks like their form dropped significantly and doesn't look like they're going to make it up there. This is not going to be a walk in the park for Forest facing Crystal Palace because the home team kicked out Aston Villa from the FA Cup semi-finals as well. So this is going to be a tough one. My original prediction for this game was 1-1 draw, but just finding out that Forest lost at home against Brentford 2-0, I'm not sure if I think they can get that point in this one. So I'm going to change my mind. My score prediction for this match is 2-1 Crystal Palace. And my tip is both teams to score at 1.80. And as promised, here's my EPL Week 35 ACA. First match, Manchester City Wolves, both teams to score. Second, Everton to win combined with under 4.5 goals. Third pick, Newcastle double chance combined with over 1.5 goals. Total odds 5.51. Just keep in mind that the ACAs are never guaranteed, so please make your own independent decisions. This is not a professional sport or financial advice, so just keep that in mind. And that wraps up our Game Week 35 predictions. Drop your own predictions and hot takes in the comment section. I read and reply to everyone. And hit that like button if you like the video. Also subscribe so you're not going to miss our next releases. And catch you in the next one. Peace out.